What's up everybody? In today's video I'm going to go over every character that can get under Young Link's Uncharged Arrow. For this lab session I tested every character with the following criteria. Uncharged arrows at the maximum height on even ground, and I tested standing, dashing, crouching, and crawling. And the results are that 18 characters can get under the arrow, and 4 characters can obstruct the arrow. Let's go over the obstruction characters first. The 3 Links can block the arrow just by holding out their shield for both crouching and standing. Then Rosalina's Luma will block the arrow for all 4 categories. Next, let's move under who can only crouch under the arrow. Starting with Mario and Dr. Mario, who can technically get under the arrow, but the crouch is super tight to the point where if they start their look around animation, they'll get hit by the arrow. Next is Ness and Mega Man, who have a bit more room and leeway for their crouch. Bayonetta has a lay down crouch that gives even more room. And then we have the 3 characters who can basically go flat, which are Mr. Game & Watch, Jigglypuff, and Kirby. Next we have 2 characters who can only crawl below the arrow, but they'll still get hit when in their idle crouching animation. Diddy is in a similar spot with the 2 Marios, where his crawl can get under the arrow, but it's pretty inconsistent with the animation. And our other crawler is Zero Suit Samus, who has a bit more room than Diddy. Next we have 6 characters who can both crouch and crawl under the arrows. Luigi has a bit more of a crouching advantage over Mario, plus the added bonus of having a crawl. Then going a bit lower with a bit more room is Squirtle, then Pikachu. And then the next 3 are characters with both a super low crouch and crawl, giving them a wide area to avoid the arrow, and that's Wii Fit Trainer, Sheik, and Snake. Next is Pichu, the character memed to death for his small size. I was expecting some ridiculous results, but what actually happened surprised me. Pichu can get under the arrow while dashing, crouching, and crawling. However, again like Mario, the dash and crouch misses are very inconsistent and based on momentary animation. So if a Pichu is crouching or dashing, the uncharged arrow will rarely miss. It was definitely surprising to see that Pikachu had a lower crouch than Pichu. Finally, we have 1 character left that couldn't fit into any of these categories, and that's Inkling. It's well known at this point how crazy her dash is compared to the other Smashers, but it's a bit more complex. During her later ongoing dash animation, she can still get hit by the arrow. It's either very rare or impossible for her not to get hit by it. However, the initial start of the dash animation is guaranteed to evade almost the lowest point of the uncharged arrow, so timed right, your arrow will miss and Inkling will retain a dashing animation. Then the ink charge can also act as the lowest duck in the game, and also supply her with ink. So for those 2 reasons, Inkling is probably the top character for going under Link's arrows. With that said, in a realistic setting, characters have plenty of options to avoid the arrows, and probably only 5 of these characters would even attempt to go under the arrow. So what can we learn from this? First, grounded uncharged arrows are just awesome, and maybe even better than we originally thought. But more importantly, for my fellow Young Link mains, do you ever find yourself in a situation where lots of characters are dashing or ducking under your arrows? You may be in a situation where you're subconsciously charging the arrows, or while falling back down to the stage, you may be shooting an arrow a little bit before you hit the ground. While doing this lab session, I did realize I was doing this in my own gameplay and was subconsciously thinking even the uncharged arrow shot was higher than it actually is. So if you're in a similar boat, this could help you win just a few more interactions that you weren't before, as well as tightening up your arrow firing timing, and change sometimes you decide when to charge the arrow and when not to. So that's all the info I have so far. I hope this helps. Probably the next video I'll do is a height analysis for fully charged arrows, but I'll continue to do what I can to help out my fellow Young Link mains, as well as other Smashers. So thanks so much for watching. Also, if you'd like to see a chart of all the information I covered in this video, click the link below.